we sounded a lot of our customer base, the two things they were really concerned about were gas fees and environmental impact. And Kadena solves for those two problems. Then obviously Marmalade is just great tech, right? So it allows us to build on a base that is already very, very secure, and where the contracts will always perform as you code them.
What's going on, guys? Astro with Hidden Profits Crypto, a channel focused on bringing the best low cap hidden gems and turning you into a smart risk, high reward investor. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a new Kadena project called Database of Native Assets, or DNA. Now, if you've been into Kadena for a minute, you've probably seen this project around, or maybe recently you heard of it because Kadena actually did a spotlight on the project where they kind of did a AMA and discussed the project with the creators. Now, I will use some clips from that in this video to give you guys a little bit more context about the project, as they only really have a website currently out. I don't think they have a white paper and all that other stuff yet, but when that comes out in the future, we will update the video. But as far as I know, they are actually getting a grant from Kadena to build their project, so I think it's only fair that we take a look at it here, as it must have some potential if the Kadena team actually decided to give them a grant and show them on their channel. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at DNA. All right, so here we are at the Twitter, the DNA Tech database of native assets. DNA is a blockchain-based platform that helps brands combat counterfeiting and build trust with their customers, built on Kadena. Like we said, you can see here that they're based in London, UK. Their website link right here. They joined in November of 2021, and they're currently sitting at about 1,500 followers. So, if you guys are interested in this project, make sure to come and give them a follow. That way you can stay up to date with them, as I always suggest. But you can see a little tweet here. DNA's technology authenticates brands' physical products via unique experimental and informational tokens, logging a product's entire ownership history. So very interesting idea there. Now, if you guys don't already know, something that makes Kadena a little bit more special is their actual NFT standard, or the way they go about NFTs. If you guys have never heard of Marmalade, I actually have a video where we go over Marmalade, and I will have a updated video as they've released some more information on Marmalade here recently, but that will come out in the future. So make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on so you guys can find out when that video comes out. But like I said, the Kadena Eco, they actually did a spotlight on DNA right here, and I will throw some clips in, but let's go ahead and head over to the website and start getting into this.
Yeah, sure, Tyler. So DNA is essentially about the tokenization of physical goods, with a focus on security and anti-counterfeiting. But that's just the start of the journey, because we'll go probably into this a bit further a bit later. But from our backgrounds in commodities, we saw how poor documentation and how fraud is so rampant, and there are not a lot of tools out there to kind of fight that. So we really believe in the utility aspect of the blockchain, and thinks that the industry is really just in its infancy. So we're very, very excited to be building a first step to help luxury brands protect their goods, so that consumers, when they buy something online or through a third party, they can prove the provenance, but also once they own the product, they can prove ownership.
All right, so here we are at the website, thedna.tech. So prove provenance, prove ownership. DNA bridges the physical and the digital. Create a digital passport of your physical goods by logging their credentials and complete history into Kadena's revolutionary Layer 1 proof of work blockchain. Combat counterfeiting and empower your customers with new levels of trust, transparency, and traceability. So protect your brand, mint your own branded DNA tokens that prove your product's provenance and authenticity. Turn customers into collectors, allow customers to view, catalog, and track their products within your brand's ecosystem. Own your resale market. Provide a platform for your customers to trade your goods with confidence under your brand's umbrella. And then improve your ESG. So DNA provides the infrastructure that will empower your shift towards the circular economy. Our technology is built on Kadena's proof of work Layer 1 blockchain, which has one of the lowest CO2 footprints in the industry. So obviously you can see here by the wording, this is a little bit more directed towards, some of these brands or companies that might have some assets or something that they want to actually link with an online digital, footprint, something that's going to validate the authenticity of the object or product or whatever it may be. So, this might not be completely targeted towards specific, small like retail investors, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Who knows what they might come out with in the future. So I definitely think it's important to stay on top of these kind of projects that are coming out, because in the grand scheme of things, these kind of projects are what really going to add a ton of value to the Kadena ecosystem, and obviously that will grow Kadena as a whole in the future.
We're taking an approach at the moment where we're really listening to the brands that we're speaking to. So, for example, I'll give you an example. We obviously went live with Steve Olson, legendary skateboarder turned artist. He's a pioneer of the skateboarding world, and we essentially built 14 certificates of authenticity for him and his exhibition in New York. Very simple, but it was a first use case. Our second use case is working with a jewelry company called Schulin, which is one of the biggest jewelers in Austria. And we are essentially, we're tokenizing pretty much all their inventory. And we're working with them on a one-of-one piece, which is going to go live with a huge or very well-known auction house in the coming weeks. So essentially, we are learning from our customers at the moment and building for them with the approach of eventually commoditizing our product offering for luxury brands, artists, streetwear brands. So we're kind of at that phase now where we're listening and trying to solve our customers' problems.
Integrate, you can mint, create DNA tokens linked to a physical product, activated by a QR code or email link that serves as your product's digital passport. Built on Pact, the smart contract policies that govern the behavior of each DNA token is directly coded onto the token, meaning it will always behave as intended. So you can add anti-counterfeiting measures like high-resolution scans or NFC chips. So point of sale, following a purchase, a DNA token is generated and sent to the customer. The DNA token serves as a digital passport for the product. So if we use a little bit of a example here, let's imagine that I'm going to a store, right? Let's say some kind of, designer store, right? I want to buy a pair of, special Yeezys, let's say. I like shoes, so let's go with that. So let's say I'm going to buy these pair of new Yeezy 350 V2s, right? So when I buy these off of this marketplace, I'm actually going to get a generated token that's going to be linked specifically to those shoes, and that is going to be almost like my digital copy, or as they say, your digital passport for the product. So that's kind of the idea of how that's going to work. I definitely, as I said, think this is going to be great for any name brand kind of thing where having a counterfeit is something that you don't really want. Obviously, like if we use shoes again for an example, you can buy a pair of, let's say, really expensive Nikes that go for $2,000, or you could go, on some Chinese website and buy a fake pair for $100. Here, you'll actually be able to know that that pair that you have is actually authentic because you will have a, digital passport, as they say, proving that that product is legitimate. So monitor, you can keep record of every transaction on the blockchain and stay engaged with your customers post-sale. Guarantee your product's provenance and authenticity and fight counterfeits in the resale market. So again, just another tool there to kind of keep these counterfeits out of the system. So you can start protecting your brand. You can go ahead and click here and ask for a demo if you're somebody that's interested in it. But that pretty much wraps it up here on the website.
Another appeal of Kadena was, Stuart and Will worked for JP Morgan, built a blockchain for them. First of all, the fact that they convinced Jamie Dimon, like the most anti-crypto guy, to build a blockchain for his bank is massively impressive. But what we found as well, and this is really helpful, right? Because we're building for widespread adoption. We really like the fact that these guys were looking at the real world, right? Because a lot of blockchain projects are kind of building this technology and then hoping that the world's going to adapt. But, that's easy for the early adopters, but not necessarily for the rest of the curve, right? So the fact that they think like that really does help, because I think the philosophy that they have has really, shone through the technology. And that's why, like, we're starting with luxury because that's a space that has the urgent need. These are the early adopters, and obviously you need to prove your case. But the reality is that we really want to go deep, right? And we can go deep because of the underlying blockchain technology and the philosophy that we've done to wrap around that.
So that's going to pretty much wrap up this video on DNA. I hope this video brought you guys some good value and understanding of what the project does and if it's something to keep an eye out for in the future. Like I said, this is more targeted towards companies and brands that have a product that they want to be, considered legitimate and not be copied or counterfeited, and not quite towards the retail investor. I don't believe that there is a specific token or anything like that you can buy to invest in this. But as I said before, all these kind of projects are just going to be adding value to Kadena. So if you're invested in Kadena, it's a very good idea to stay on top of these projects and understand what is being built in the Kadena ecosystem, because obviously you're invested in that asset, and that is an important factor. So that's going to be it for me here today. I really, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, share it with a friend, hit that subscribe button, and tick that notification bell so you can get notifications for any of my future content that's similar to this. We cover things like Kadena, Flux, and other great projects. If you want to go even more in depth in following me, you can go to hidden_crypto on Twitter, where we do a lot of giveaways with Kadena projects, and I just talk about random Kadena things, and I do a lot of my updates there first before anywhere else. So all my other social links are in the link tree down in the description. You guys can check that out if you're interested, but it's going to be it for me today. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, peace.